Hey there guys, Jordan here, back with another reaction video, and it's gonna be another death battle. And this death battle is going to be Frieza versus Megatron, Dragon Ball versus Transformers. Whoa. So we're going to be going against a galactic tyrant versus an overlord of the Decepticons. This certainly should be interesting. I know about Frieza and Megatron, so this should be very interesting to see how they are able to battle it out against who is the supreme. So then, without further delay, let's see how this battle goes. Alright, and let's begin.
Frieza, the Dread Emperor from Dragon Ball. And Megatron, the Decepticon commander from Transformers. When these two dictators collide, the cosmos will tremble. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright, first up, Frieza.
Deep in the bowels of outer space lies a monster so cruel, so callous, so evil, that the universe itself trembles at his approach. Behold, the mighty Lord Frieza. Oh, he's adorable with the horns and that floppy tail and the...
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And he's laughing. Cool. Frieza's diminutive stature...
Suffice to say that everything he did was unforgivable.
And rooted in a surprising place. In response to the Japanese economic bubble at the time, Frieza's design was meant to evoke real estate speculators. Series manga Toriyama has described such speculators as the worst sort of people. Yes, really.
Okay, then.
Say Frieza is more than meets the eye. Oh, wait, shit, that's later.
Oh.
Much is unknown about...
Okay, then. Background. Full name, Lord Frieza, aka Frieza, Freezer, Refrigerator. Alright then. Okay. Age, over 70 years old. Height, 5'2", 158 centimeters. Title, Universal Emperor. A mutant frost demon. Likes, grape soda, Frieza Day, Yamcha. Hates, Saiyans, stuffed animals, cooler. Okay. Doesn't seem like the most impressive background, but Frieza certainly does strike fear in those who wish to travel across different planets and galaxies. And considering what he did to the entire Saiyan race, my word, he truly is terrifying and debatably the most evil person in the entire Dragon Ball franchise.
About Frieza's alien race and heritage, only that he and his father were born as mutants with abnormally high power levels. Oh, like how the doc said, my blood alcohol level was 0.8 straight out the womb. Frieza was so crazy strong that unlike most Dragon Ball characters who transform to get stronger, Frieza transforms to get weaker. So he doesn't accidentally nuke a planet, only intentionally. With his father's empire and army at his beck and call, Frieza would cross the universe, conquering worlds one by one, and selling them to the highest bidder. Just like real estate speculators. And if
of course.
He'd just kill them, their entire family, and everyone they ever knew. Just like real estate speculators. Well, he lets his weird, multicolored alien grunts do his dirty work for him. Frieza's not afraid to throw down himself, especially if some spiky-haired space monkeys start getting too uppity for their own good. Frieza's strength comes from his innate understanding and manipulation of his own ki, or life energy, which he can use to enhance his physicality or manifest into projectile attacks. Like his classic Death Beam, Death Bow, Death Wave, Death Cannon, Death Saucers. I'm sensing a theme here. Frieza can move with his...
Alright, abilities. Ki Blasts, Flight, Death Cannon, Death Saucer, Death Wave, Eye Laser, Nova Strike, Telekinesis, Death Beam. Death Bullet, Grand Death Beam, Cage of Light. Transformations, Lesser Forms, Final Frieza, Golden Frieza, Black Frieza. Yup. Frieza certainly does have some very deadly and inescapable attacks at his disposal. It's actually a miracle how Goku and the others were able to escape this kind of power with such ease. So it does make me wonder how he'll be able to use them in battle. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
His mind, fire laser beams from his eyes, create key force fields, and he even learned to sense the ki of others through sheer observation alone. He's fast enough to keep up with Goku's ki attacks, which, scaled to the ki he absorbed for a spirit bomb against Kid Buu, could move across the universe in less than a minute. That would be over 17 quadrillion times the speed of light, and he's gotten stronger and faster since then.
You know you're a badass when you can stroll into Planet Vegeta, a planet filled with people whose only higher aspirations involve murder and hair gel, and talk shit like you own the place. And he got so paranoid about one of them getting strong enough to kick his ass that he blew up the friggin' planet.
Considering Planet Vegeta has 10 times the gravity of Earth, this would mean it likely has 10 times the mass and 100 times the energy required to overcome its gravitational.
Calculating the kinetic energy of dispersed matter yields at 2 non-alien ton detonation enough power to obliterate a star. Wow. So Frieza's blast destroyed planet Vegeta has enough power to completely destroy a star. Whoa. Frieza certainly is a character not to be looked down upon.
Finding energy and destroy it. That's over 5.3 Yoda tons of TNT.
And that was in his weakest form. Too bad he kinda missed a spot. Or several, because a bunch of Saiyans survived to fight another day. Space genocide just ain't what it used to be.
This would come back to bite him when he was finally forced to confront the Earthbound Saiyan Kakarot, and accidentally ended up being the reason he turned into the legendary Super Saiyan.
That's right. Feats kept pace with Dispo, resisted the power of destruction, withstood Broly's assault for an hour, survived the destruction of planet Namek, telekinetically lifted over 1 million tons of stone, defeated Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Frost, Gas. Jeez. These are unbelievable feats that Frieza had achieved. And about half of these happened when he was in his final form. I wonder how his opponent's feats will compare to this. I guess we'll just have to see for ourselves later on.
Frieza has survived being pounded by Broly for over an hour straight, crushed by Goku's Spirit Bomb, and then split in half, consumed by an exploding planet, and left afloat in the vacuum of space.
He can survive without the vast majority of his body, though unlike other Dragon Ball villains, he can't heal on his own.
It didn't help him that much after he got his ass sent to hell, but because of that dragon in his balls, he was back at it again.
And with just 4 months worth of training, the first time he'd ever trained in his entire life, Frieza was able to achieve a new transformation capable of surpassing the Super Saiyan, Golden Frieza.
That's a level of laziness I aspire to, Wiz. DeviantArt Frieza here lets him keep up with Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta.
A significantly weaker Super Saiyan God Goku could blow up the whole of Universe 7 in a punch clash with the God of Destruction, Beerus, and the shockwaves of their punches were able to reach the edges of existence in only a few seconds, over 270 quadrillion times the speed of light, and that is before many years of power-ups and training between then and now.
Totally crazy, but nothing compared to his newest and greatest form.
A transformation capable of surpassing Goku's Ultra Instinct and Vegeta's Ultra Ego, their peaks at this point. A transformation even stronger than Gas, who was wished to be the strongest in the universe.
He literally
Really?
said F you to the Dragon Balls. This is Black Frieza!
The all-seeing Oracle Fish had prophesied the coming of the universe's strongest, and perhaps he was talking about Frieza all along.
Come on,
Was
give
he?
us another prediction. Oh, Wiz, I think you're gonna die. No, for some godforsaken reason.
Okay then. The identity of the prophesied strongest warrior is technically still unknown. Popular theories include Gohan and Oob. Gas and Granola achieved such power thanks to wishes, whereas Frieza achieved it on his own using a hyperbolic time chamber. So even though the true identity of the strongest warrior is still unknown to this day, there have been theories that speculate that a few other characters filled that role, and a few of them had to achieve power through wishes, while Frieza achieved his own power using a hyperbolic time chamber. Man, Dragon Ball sure has a lot of really messed up lore under its belt, and considering that it's still going on to this date, who knows what else might pop up when you least expect it.
Reason he didn't use his newfound power to kill those pesky Saiyans. They were right there, you moron.
In fact, he once committed the archvillain's greatest sin and teamed up with them to save their universe and beat Jiren, a being comparable to the gods of destruction.
Because no one's allowed to destroy the universe but him.
And that's a promise he means to keep. This almighty emperor will continue to rule the universe with an iron grip and a heart of ice.
Wow. Alright, next up, Megatron.
Either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Or you live even longer and become an 80s toy commercial. This is Megatron.
Okay. Our primary source for Megatron is the G1 continuity presented by the 1980s cartoon and IDW comics. Any other material must abide by rule number 4. Okay, so they're only using the Generation 1 Megatron for this battle. I guess they're trying to keep the tradition of having only the Generation 1 Transformers characters in these battles. So, nice to see how they're keeping their faithfulness to the original installments that started the whole franchise.
In Cybertron's ancient past, the planet was ruled by the Functionist religious order, which decreed a transform...
Background: full name Megatron of Tarn, height 38 feet 11.5 meters, age over 9 million years. Oh man. Species Cybertronian, leader of the Decepticons, desperately needs a cough drop, likes Cybertron poetry, Optimus Prime, hates Autobots, capitalism, Optimus Prime. I guess he doesn't have a... I guess it's like his opponent, how his background isn't all that impressive. Especially since Optimus Prime is in his likes and dislikes and desperately needs a cough drop. Man, they really like using throwaway gags, don't they?
Transformers' natural-born alternate mode determined their role and status in society rather than letting them choose for themselves. Born into this repressive caste system, Megatron of Tarn dreamed of something more.
So this giant Hasbro toy robot only only $5.99 at your nearest Rite Aid, wrote a manifesto on peaceful dissent that got popular with the oppressed Cybertronian working class. So much so, in fact, that the Senate tried to have him assassinated. Whoa! Politics alert!
After surviving that brush with death, Megatron was convinced that peace could never be an option. The only path left to overthrow the crippling social order was violent revolution.
So were the Autobots originally the bad guys here? Optimus Prime? More like Optimus Crime. Never say that Megatron wasn't committed. The civil war he started between the two groups lasted 9 million fucking years. And again,
really?
Toy robots.
He was aided in his war efforts by his immensely powerful fusion cannon, a giant laser bazooka that can hit targets from 12 miles away and level a small town in a single shot. These projectiles are so
Arsenal, antimatter, buzzsaws, fusion cannon, energon mace, energon shield, energon sword, electricity manipulation, flight, panic bubble, sonic blasts. So it seems that Megatron relies more on weaponry than using actual powers. Well, since he is a giant robot, it's not like they have any powers to begin with. Maybe weaponry can work in his favor against life force? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Fast, they're able to exit the atmosphere from ground level after only a single second. By scaling the distance of the Earth using the angle of this shot, the fusion cannon's projectile must be moving over 4,200 times the speed of sound.
But like
really?
The fusion cannon needs a little time to recharge between shots. So Megatron's got some tools to keep the job going. He can close
does
with his energon mace and block blows with his energon shield. It helps that Meg's literally fought as a gladiator before his stunt as a revolutionary.
Megatron can fire lasers from his eyes and arms, launch buzzsaws strong enough to slice through solid rock, fly through the air, and open up a force field known as a panic bubble.
Now, it might seem like a huge flaw that it lets enemy combatants inside, but that's only until you realize it won't let them back out again. That's when the panic part comes in. Megatron's not trapped in there with you. You're trapped in there with him.
Megatron's Cybertronian body is strong enough to match the Autobot leader Optimus Prime, who can toss around oil tankers weighing hundreds of thousands of tons. And Megatron's metallic hide was tough enough to survive an explosion so massive it launched the entire planet of Cybertron through space.
By taking a look at Cybertron's mass and how fast it was sent flying to get its overall kinetic energy, Megatron must have survived a blast equal to nearly 4.5 ninatons of TNT, enough to annihilate a star. He can even keep up with Decepticons like Starscream, who can fly across the galaxy from Earth to Cybertron at hundreds of thousands of times the speed of light.
And he wouldn't be a transformer.
Transformations. Gun based on a Walther P-38 Cybertronian tank stealth bomber jet. Yeah, they can't be transformers if they can't, well, transform. And the Generation 1 Megatron was known for transforming into a gun. I suppose that makes sense since his main weapon of choice is a blaster. So maybe transformations might help him escape his deadly fate for this death battle? I guess we'll just have to hold on to that thought and see for ourselves later on.
Without being able to transform into various vehicles. A tank, a stealth bomber jet,
and a gun! Just a gun. Walther P-38, in fact. I'm sorry, Wiz. I know he's this tragic revolutionary corrupted by the cycle of violence or whatever, but that is the funniest shit I have ever seen. What does he have, like his Deceptive buddies point him at people and fire?
Sometimes. He can fire himself.
Oh my god. That looks even sillier.
Okay, then.
You're laughing, but Megatron is no joke. By utilizing space bridge teleportation technology, Megatron can establish a remote link-up to a nearby black hole and teleport the antimatter it produces to his location.
Through his eyeballs!
Should matter and antimatter meet, they will be mutually annihilated. In a brilliant release of energy, defined by E equals MC squared. It doesn't matter how durable the matter is, it will be destroyed at the subatomic level.
As Megatron
Is that so?
of Cybertron dragged on, all of his highfalutin ideals started to fall to the wayside.
In essence, there used to be a point to the war. Now, war was the point. His only goal left
Was
to
it?
rule Cybertron with a literal iron fist.
That's where Megatron's greatest weapon came into play. His mind. The dude is a strategic and tactical genius who's always thinking 10 steps ahead.
He's fought powerful Transformers like Grimlock, Predaking, and the Decepticon, a being with...
The Decepticon was an avatar of Devoid, the personification of the Dark Universe. Wow. So there was a god that was the manifestation of the Dark Universe, and Megatron was able to go against it without even fleeing. Man, this leader of the Decepticons certainly doesn't show any mercy.
With the power of an entire evil universe behind it.
He and Optimus have even fought Nova Prime and Regenesis Shockwave, both of whom could utilize the energy of that same universe.
Megatron once sealed himself inside an Omniglobe and commanded 1,000 real-life battles at once, funneling every iota of relevant information into his brain at the same time. The sheer deluge of data would be incomprehensible for anyone without that supercomputer brain.
But all that robot ass-kicking ended up as a draw, and the only true loser was Cybertron.
With the planet in ruins and its civilization extinguished,
Really?
the Cybertronian Golden Age was long over. And the vanguard of its destruction was Megatron.
Who's now a crusty Saturday morning
Alright, feats. Commanded the Decepticons for millions of years, slaughtered hordes of Autobots single-handedly, fusion cannon shots exit the atmosphere at Mach 4200, antimatter was stated to be able to destroy half a planet, fought the Decepticon and Regenesis Shockwave, defeated Optimus Prime, Predaking, Grimlock. My word. This Decepticon leader sure has some very unbelievable feats. And considering that he's been doing this for millions of years, that's completely understandable. Maybe his years of experience will be able to help him win this fight? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
cartoon villain with a voice that sounds like he smokes 40 packs a day and a hate boner for his bone-headed second in command, Starscream.
After countless millennia of a humiliating stalemate with his Boy Scout rival, Megatron's brilliant mind finally turned inward. He remembered that his early writings advocated for peaceful conversion and free thought instead of domination.
It took you 9 million years to remember why you started fighting in the first place. Would that memory get lost in the cloud?
In what was possibly his most surprising tactical move yet, Megatron saved the universe from annihilation as an Autobot.
What?
Oh?
Is that after millions of years of indefinite war, the ideals that he fought for, freedom, justice, equality, had switched sides, and Megatron had to as well.
Turns out there was more to this supervillain than met the eye, because true to his nature, Megatron transformed.
Wow.
Alright, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Let's get started. Oh?
Greetings, noble warrior of planet Cyber whatever. I, Lord Frieza, claim this world as my own. Cheer for me or face annihilation.
I have fought for my planet for eons. I would rather see it turn to ash than reside in your filthy hands, organic scum.
Oh boy.
I love it when they monologue back.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh man. Ooh.
What's wrong? Is that clunky robot body too slow to keep up?
My wit should more than suffice, you blithering ponce.
Ooh. Wow. Didn't even faze him. Oh. Oh man. Whoa.
Where did he go?
Ooh. Oh man. Oh. Golden Frieza time. Ooh. Oh. Ooh.
Doesn't this just always happen? I give it 5 minutes.
My planet!
Oh?
Behold the mighty Lord Frieza, ruler of a dying planet. My planet. Where is your army? Where is your ship? So powerful, and yet you will wander the depths of space for eternity. All because of me.
Ooh.
You despicable cretinous worm.
Now it's getting serious.
Screams to be heard in the vacuum of space.
Die a fool's death.
Ooh. Huh?
You will die by my hand.
Oh. Whoa.
Cybertronians must kill them all.
Wrong again,
Ooh.
Frieza. It was actually 1 minute and 10 seconds. Idiot.
Megatron's ruthless resilience may have netted him a win in some scenarios, but Frieza's overwhelming power gave him a clear edge.
Megatron's ace in the hole was his antimatter, which would have been...
Beerus claims destruction energy can destroy matter and release energy, which is similar to antimatter. Frieza has resisted being engulfed by destruction energy and could theoretically resist antimatter, though this is speculative. I see. So Frieza was able to resist destruction energy, which is speculated to be similar to antimatter. So it seems that Megatron's final ace in the hole wasn't enough to put this tyrannical space tyrant down for good. Well, I guess Frieza was able to escape that one.
Annihilated Frieza's ass no matter how dumb it was.
And that was a real possibility. Megatron Megatron is a master tactician and manipulator with millions of years of combat experience. Frieza, on the other hand, has always relied on his raw power and intimidation to win fights.
When things don't go his way, he has a tendency to freak out.
However, Frieza has survived getting most of it.
Additionally, G1 material denotes much faster scanning feats, but these are not supported by the primary sources. So even though Generation 1 was the primary source of the opponent, their fast scanning feats are debatably non-canon for the primary source materials. So there's no way to know if Megatron's feats were actually canonical or not. I guess Frieza was able to get through it since his feats are canonical. That's certainly quite a true feat of his.
His body obliterated and kept going.
Which meant the antimatter wasn't a surefire win. It would have to completely cover Frieza's whole body before he could react, and Frieza was way too fast for that.
While Megatron scaled the characters who could cross galaxies, Frieza has kept up with Goku.
It's implied Shockwave may have grown to be a threat to numerous timelines. Even before he could achieve this, Megatron and Optimus together struggled to match him. This implies they were both weaker than Shockwave by a total margin. So Shockwave was a big threat in several timelines. However, Megatron teamed up with Optimus Prime to be able to go against him, and this implies that going against only one of them implies that they're much weaker than Shockwave. So it seems that Megatron wasn't able to go against Frieza since he was battling him alone. Looks like it's another point for Frieza here.
Who should be at least trillions of times faster.
And on his smaller size and key force fields, Frieza had more than enough ways to avoid, defend, or survive the antimatter.
So Megatron's only option was power. While Megatron has survived planet...
Results. Frieza. Positives, notably faster, much more powerful, had plenty of defensive counters. Negatives, vulnerable to antimatter. Megatron. Positives, more experienced, smarter. Negatives, physically inferior, larger size made for bigger target. So while Frieza was vulnerable to being possessed by Megatron's antimatter, Megatron was much inferior in physicality and was a much larger target for Frieza to take on. So it seems that these results check out here.
Busting explosions, and even fought with a being that had the energy of a universe behind it, Golden Frieza was just too much for him, considering he certainly surpassed Goku and Beerus' Punch Clash. Since Universe 7 as a whole should be over 13 times larger than our own universe, Frieza's super forms would far exceed Megatron's own power.
And that feat happened at...
Ironically, a gold Megatron form exists, though it is part of an entirely different canon than the American G1 and IDW continuities. He looks hype though. So even though there was a gold Megatron that was completely different from the American continuities of the Generation 1 cartoon series and comics. Although, it would be amazing if there was at least some artwork of the both of them. One can dream, though.
The beginning of Dragon Ball Super. Goku has gotten leagues stronger since then, and Black Frieza is currently beyond him. There was just no way Megatron was strong enough to keep up.
Megatron was a devious foe, but Frieza's power, speed, and sheer survivability allowed him to crush the Decepticon leader underfoot.
I guess you could say Megatron was cool, but Frieza was cooler.
The winner is Frieza.
Congratulations, Frieza.
Thanks for watching, and hey, are you a Death Battle member? We've got a ballot going on right now where members get to choose a matchup for the next season. So click that join button and jump into our Champions Discord.
Next time. Ooh. Gojo versus Mikama, Jujutsu Kaisen versus Chainsaw Man. So that was Frieza versus Megatron, and Frieza came out victoriously. Just another note to take to show that Frieza's certainly not a character you want to look down upon. Certainly a force to be reckoned with after all. Alright everyone, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.